of an experiment because we, like I said, we needed a new way to tell stories. My play, I guess you could call it absurd. It's, to me, more fantastic. And I do accept the fact that it is kind of strange. It's called a memory play, and it spends some time in the memory of a young woman and the memory of 3 other folks she meets on a hilltop. Now, John's play is called I Didn't Hear You. And it is about an extended Italian family in Queens one Sunday morning. And as I said before, John's play is downright hilarious. Sit securely in your seats or you may fall off laughing. We have had to mount these plays in non-traditional ways as stage reason. They are our experiments. Enough said, let's begin.
Hello, everyone. Hello. We're so glad you could come tonight.
Where we're supposed to be.
Exactly.
That's good to know.
Yes. Would you like a seat?
I have a blanket, but yes, I'd like a seat too.
Will that do?
Yeah. What's next?
Well, we need to wait a bit. Some people need to arrive before we can really start, but why don't we go?
All right. Are those people at the bottom of the hill?
The audience.
An audience for me?
I want a couple of more, but mostly for you.
Is this a play?
It's theatrical. This is the master script.
This sounds exciting.
Well, pretty soon you will meet 2 other ladies. The 3 of you have special connections to this hilltop. And you can talk to these ladies and maybe figure some things out. At least we will see how memories tie people together. How one spot is special to others, and yourself as well. And how memories can bump into each other. This is a play about memories, about sharing memories, about time colliding with time. This is a memory play. Do you recognize this place? Is this a memory place, Quinn?
I recognize it. I used to come here when I was on summer break from college for a while. This was my escape from home place. It's not that my home was bad. It wasn't. It just wasn't where I wanted to be anymore. I used to come to this place and try to think about who I was. It was a wonderful think about who you are or who you will try to be kind of place. Very Pooh Bear in the hyphenated adjectives. Siri, who the heck am I? Who am I going to be? No ideas, huh?
Well, you may be the tabula rasa of this place.
Tabula what?
Tabula rasa. It means blank slate, not yet written upon. Perhaps who you are is yet to be written.
I can't be totally blank.
No, but you are quite unsure of yourself.
I am.
What would you like to figure out?
My sexuality. I'm not a lesbian, although it would be alright if I was. Maybe I'm bisexual. That's becoming more popular. Probably not. Bisexuality would like have twins and trying to figure out there's one you like better. So I'm strictly hetero. Now, if I could only find someone to practice it with.
So, you handled your sexuality easily. How about your religiosity?
My what?
Your religion, the state of your soul.
Am I religious? Am I spiritual? I like the idea of being spiritual because it's less confining. If you're religious, then you have this whole list of rules that you're supposed to follow to get into heaven or whatever. I don't care for that.
Why don't you care for it?
Well, hello.
Young man, do you mind if I sit?
Oh, of course, wherever you like.
Thank you. My name is Catherine.
I'm Quinn.
Well, Quinn, why don't you care for rules?
I'm fine with some rules.
The 10 Commandments?
I can't remember them all offhand, but I'm pretty sure I'm good with the whole group.
Aren't they religious rules?
I know they came special delivery from God's own burning bush, but I don't think that if you're a good person, no matter your religion's name, that you complain about any of the commandments.
I like the fact that my religion comes with rules,
Why?
because I don't have to engage in debates with myself over what is right and what is wrong. I like the simplification of morality that religion allows.
That's interesting. How old are you?
I'm 72. How old are you?
I'm 20-ish.
You look older than that.
Do I? Of course I do. I'm 20-ish in this memory I'm sharing. Although, this isn't my real age. I'm older, but I can't remember how old I am. I don't know, sorry.
Odd.
It is. And by the way, you look much older than 72. Do you remember this place, Catherine?
This hillside and this bit of woods has always been a place I've enjoyed visiting on my walks.
I'm here because I used to hang out here when I was the age I'm supposed to be now.
Yes, I heard.
Mister? Sir?
Yes.
Do you have a name?
No, I don't.
Another odd fact, name or not, I need to ask you a question.
Please feel free.
So what's happening is that I'm recalling a memory of a time in this place and, sorry I forgot your name.
Catherine.
And Catherine bumped into me and we started to talk. I don't remember it happening, but this isn't surprising that I wouldn't remember it because it happened 8 or 9 years ago.
Well, I'm not sure, but I think this is just your memory, and Catherine, who logically could have been here as well, may have just been added to the mix to suggest what conversation might have happened, especially if you two had met or to reveal something of later importance.
Is this like waiting for Godot?
Oh God, I don't think it's that hard.
Good. I want people to get my memory, to understand what I was talking about, what concerned me.
I'm going back now. Okay.
You were saying, Quinn.
We were discussing my feelings on the religious or my feelings on the spiritual. Here's the thing. I need an afterlife with lots of doors, lots of ways in, for all different kinds of believers and non-believers.
Well, that's a lovely idea.
Would your religion agree with that?
No, it wouldn't. We are a one-door religion.
I don't like that. I think God leaves a lot of doors open in heaven.
So you believe in heaven?
I'm not completely sold on it, but I do believe that I have a spirit and that after it's done with the body, it will need a place to go. Catherine, I realize now why you're here in my memory.
Why is that, Quinn?
Because I need to have someone to talk to reveal what I'm thinking about. Otherwise, I would just sit here thinking about things and no one would know what the hell they were.
Do you believe in hell?
There's a professor at my college who believes that we're all in hell right now. Or purgatory, maybe. Living in hell and dying is getting out. My question is, if we're all in hell right now, where were we before? Let's talk about something else.
What?
Romance?
Talk romance. With a 72-year-old woman?
I would think you had lots of experience. Or how about sex?
Are you trying to shock me, young lady? I can talk sex just fine if that's what you want.
Oh, wow, great. What can you tell me about sex, Catherine?
When sex is good, it's very, very good. And when sex is bad, it's horrid.
That's it?
If you want positions, read the Kama Sutra. You need to strive for as much very good sex as you can get, Quinn.
Are you married?
I'm a widow.
I'm sorry, Catherine.
It's been more than 10 years. It gets easier not being married.
Did you love your husband suburbly?
My husband was my best friend. I loved him totally, as one loves a best friend.
Not romantic then?
No,
I'm sorry.
thank you, but you don't have to be.
How long were you married?
39 years.
Without any romance?
Nary a dewdrop.
What was his name? Did you pretend romance with him?
His name was Tom, and I pretended my ass off.
I'm so sorry again. 39 years of romance-less marriage? You must have had some sex.
Oh, yes, plenty of it. That's when I did some of my best pretending. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, I should have won an Oscar.
Gosh, you are so funny, Catherine. Are you one of like those opera clowns hiding your sadness with a sense
Pagliacci? No, I'm not sad. I'm disappointed. Marriage never became what I dreamed it would be.
So why did you marry him, Catherine?
We dated for more than a year. He was nice to me. We had fun. He bought me presents. He told me I was beautiful. He kept asking me to marry him, and I kept thinking of the line from Fiddler on the Roof. My father and my mother said we'd learn to love each other. Tevye and Golda lied.
Oh, Catherine, I'm so sorry. You've never had romance sex in all of your 72 years?
I never said that, my dear. I had very romantic and fulfilling sex. It just wasn't with my husband.
Oh, wasn't it an affair?
The first time was in a relationship I had before I ever met Tom.
Good sex?
Dreamy. But then Jerry got a better job and moved away.
His name was Jerry. Why didn't you go with him?
I wasn't invited.
That sucks. Did you love him?
Maybe. I was heartbroken when he'd gone.
Would you have gone with him if you were asked?
I'm not sure, but I would have liked to have been asked.
How old were you when he took off?
24.
I bet you were a hottie when you were 24.
Me at 24.
Holy crap, you were super hot! I was an idiot for leaving you behind.
Oh, it was probably just as well. I was so much more intelligent than he.
But the sex?
Oh, yes, but the sex.
Mr. No Name?
Yes.
We need a transition line from the sex talk.
Could you provide one?
How about, of course, there is so much more to life.
I heard that person who first said that was a nun. Do you have children, Catherine? Are they usually part of what's much more in life?
Yes, we had 3 children, 2 girls and a boy.
That's nice. Are they part of your life now?
Not a lot. The 2 oldest, Chloe and Robert, are both married and living on the other side of the country.
Do you have grandchildren?
They each have 1 child. I call them Baby Zoom and Little FaceTime.
You're so funny, Catherine. What about your other daughter?
Would you like to meet her?
Sure, I guess. Tessa? How old is Tessa?
33.
Is she married?
No, never even came close.
She still has lots of time.
Oh, I got it.
Hello, Mother. Hello.
Quinn.
Hello, Quinn.
Hello, Tessa. I absolutely love your name.
Thank you. I like yours too.
Both our names are a little bit different from the norm.
Hi, Mother. How are you?
Hello, Tessa. I'm quite well, but rather surprised you cared enough to ask.
Come on, Mom. Let's abjure from fighting.
Abjure. You have an excellent vocabulary, Tessa, always have. Word expert must be one of the niches you enjoy fitting into.
Mother, I don't believe you. Good Lord, Mother. She's diving into the last argument we had almost 2 years ago when I pronounced N-I-C-H-E as niche.
If you want to talk like you're French, move to France, or Montreal, or someplace. I suppose you say memoir and banal, too.
As a matter of fact, I do.
I'm not quite sure that banal or banal is French. I'll have to look it up.
I don't care what you find, it's pronounced banal.
Excuse me, Mom.
Now you're insulting Quinn.
Am I insulting you, Quinn?
You?
Excusez-moi, then.
Ladies, I'm about to pack up my blanket and go home.
Nope, you cannot do that.
Please stop arguing.
Well, I'm not arguing, but I'll stop before I start.
I will try to be more controlled.
Things always start out like this between Mom and me, Quinn.
I suppose we should start over again.
All right.
Well, dear, where have you been these last 2 long years?
I've been busy
Doing what?
being me, Mom.
Oh, dear God, that's what I thought you were going to say.
What do you mean?
I fear you've been doing something completely unworthy of what you could be doing.
That's so not true, Mother. I've been working at a bookstore
Yes.
and being a poet.
Oh, I imagine poeting pays well.
I work full-time at the bookstore. I don't need to make money with my poetry.
Do you have benefits?
Yes,
Medical insurance?
and dental. I also have a wonderful friend, Mom. My boyfriend. He's a boyfriend with benefits.
Well, I should hope so at your age. I'm sorry, that was catty.
Good for admitting that, Catherine.
For the first time, perhaps ever, I'm quite happy, Mom.
That's good.
Are you at all happy?
Happiness was never a requirement for me, dear. I'm as happy now as I imagine I ever will be.
Do you talk with Robert and Chloe?
Oh, usually once a week.
I should call them, but I'm afraid I won't know what to talk about. They were so much older than I was.
They keep asking me out to visit.
Just out to Southern California? You should go.
By airplane? I just know it will fall right out of the sky, and I will end my life in a smoking pile of twisted metal in some awful place like Utah.
I doubt that would happen, Mom.
Of course, you would all get my money a lot sooner if I died in a fiery plane crash.
I refuse to bite, Mom.
When did you become so mature?
In the last 2 years.
I could take the train.
What?
I could take the train to Los Angeles. Far lesser chance of ending up in a flaming pile of twisted metal if you take the train.
I suppose. It's a long way from Syracuse to Los Angeles by train.
I could spend the time figuring out what to talk to them about. Like you. I worry I won't know what to say.
When you get there, you can just play with the grandchildren.
Oh, yes, little Joaquin and sweet Odessa, straight from the book of favorite California baby names. And thank you for calling them grandchildren. I hate when people talk about their grandkids. All I imagine is a flock of little entitled goats.
Do they ever ask about me, my brother and sister?
Sometimes, not a lot. But I don't think they mean anything by it. They're just self-absorbed.
I was born more than 10 years after my brother Robert.
No surprise, baby.
My mother was shocked.
And she was such a terribly busy toddler, into everything.
I can't say I remember. I think I blocked the ages from 0 to 12 from my mind.
I was old to be a mother again, Quinn. 40.
In school, kids asked me more than once if you were my grandmother. I told them yes. A brat?
Yes.
Chloe told me that when you found out you were pregnant, you prayed for a miscarriage.
Oh, Tessa, darling, I did not.
Lucky that when she told me, I didn't know what one was. I thought it involved you falling out of a stroller.
What a horrible thing for your older sister to say. I will speak with her.
It was 25 years ago. I think the statute of limitations on shitty comments has run out. Also, I made use of that awful comment when I found out what it meant. Whenever I had done something really stupid or obnoxious and gotten caught and grounded and all, I would, believe it or not, sit on my bed, weigh my shitty actions, and say to myself, now I know why she prayed for a miscarriage.
I'm so sorry, darling. I never.
Oh, Mother, yes, you did. But don't worry, in the last 10 minutes, you have touched me, put your arm around me, called me darling twice. That's more contact and pet names than many years before.
I'm sorry. Truthfully, I thought you were happiest when I was mad at you.
No.
Hey, Tessa, what's your connection to spot this little top of the hill anyway?
I wondered that too, dear. Moving a little closer.
I used to come here to write my poetry. It was years ago. Shortly after college, when I was working as the copy reader for the local newspaper. I was sharing a tiny apartment with one of my high school friends. She managed a pretzel kiosk at the mall, just before the mall closed forever. I would sit here on a lovely afternoon and do my best to write blank verse, sonnets, odes, free verse, erotica. I sucked at erotica.
I suck too.
I wouldn't.
Before you got here, your mom told me some things about your sex life.
Mother, why didn't you tell me?
Mothers don't do that except on left-wing TV shows. I had a hard enough time telling you about the birds and bees. I was over 50, for God's sakes. My sex talk should have been long over.
God, I remember that, Mom. You told me about the birds and the bees in the car when we were on our way to the farm stand to buy eggs.
I had to pick up cucumbers too. Apparently the two items inspired me. What's that? This is my quotation notebook. I find a quote I like, and I write it down so I won't forget it.
Cool.
A lot of them are about getting old. I've got some here about old people sex.
Oh my Lord, Mom.
I won't like them. Here they are. George Burns said that for him, old age sex is like trying to shoot pool with a rope.
Mother!
Ian Fleming said, older women are best because they always think they may be doing it for the last time.
Mom, that's
But
awful!
it's funny. My favorite is from Robert Browning.
The classics.
He wrote, grow old along with me. The best is yet to be.
Oh, my. Daddy didn't do that, did he?
No, he didn't. I'm envious of those whose husbands are still around.
Enough of this morose shit. We were laughing and having fun. Go back to telling us about coming here to write poetry, Tessa.
Are you all right, Mom?
Of course.
All right. The interesting part is not the poetry I wrote so much as the person I met.
Oh?
His name was Luke. He worked at the newspaper. He was the advertising manager. In fact, it was the entire advertising department, as I was the entire copy reading staff. He was tall with all this curly black hair piled on top of his head, which he called his Jew fro.
He was Jewish?
Mom, I have tons of Jewish friends. Would you have a problem that I wrote poetry with a Jewish guy?
Did you marry him?
You know I didn't.
I don't have a problem.
Come on, no staring. We're having fun. Talk, Tessa.
All right. Actually, sir, could you help me?
Sure.
Okay. Quinn, you're gonna sit over here. Okay. I'm gonna bring this here. All right, your notebook, Mom. Thank you. And a pen. Okay.
Hello, Tessa.
Luke.
Yes, it's me.
Well, fancy seeing you here.
I always thought it was strange when people say fancy meeting somebody somewhere. I don't see. Shh. Sorry.
I thought I might possibly find you here or somewhere near here.
Really?
On Saturday afternoons, I often sit in the park, and I noticed that at about 1, you would walk down Dulcimer Street, then cut through the abandoned lot and head up the path on the hillside.
So you thought you would follow me?
Not in a stalking way,
I didn't think it was in a stalking way. Not in a bad stalking way.
just an interested way, because have you noticed that we two are the most lonely people in the newspaper offices?
I come across as lonely?
Lonely may be the wrong word. We both come across as separated from the group. We prefer to eat by ourselves in our cars than to hang with our coworkers. We don't have that much interaction with anyone on the staff, I don't think. Do you have any friends working for the newspaper?
No, they aren't like me.
I know. I feel the same way. So I followed you up the hill to say hello, want to be friends.
Yes, Luke, I would like to be friends. I am more than just separated from the group. I am truly lonely.
So am I. What are you doing?
Trying to write poetry.
Oh, wait, I try to write poetry too.
We should try together.
Yes!
And so, as they say, began a beautiful friendship based on a hilltop and poetry. We started eating lunch together.
Sometimes I brought her cupcakes.
Sometimes I brought him a thermos of chicken soup.
Sometimes after work, we would have a glass of wine together at the corner tavern.
Sometimes after work on a Friday, we would have 7 or 8.
We texted a lot, we talked on the phone.
And every Saturday afternoon in the spring, summer, and fall, if it weren't too cold or raining, we would end up here on the hill writing poetry. Up here, he liked to call me Elizabeth Barrett Browning. I like to call him Walt Whitman or Edgar Allan Poe.
Hey, Elizabeth.
Hey, Eddie Poe.
You want to listen to my poem as far as I've gotten with it, that is?
I wanted to shout, no! His poetry was horrible. But I always said, of course, I would love to.
This poem is called It Is Night. 10,000 crickets play fiddle in the ferns. The dog up the street barks. The dog up the street barks plaintively. Walter, the drag queen, tries to sneak into the apartment below mine. Still, as he undresses, I hear his pantyhose pucker. I rise from bed to cross the room, to turn off the overhead light, which is rife with fly specks. But I stub my toe on the small barbell I left there. Jesus, I shout. But of course, he doesn't answer. So what do you think?
Oh, I like it.
Now, don't be afraid to be critical. I need to grow as a poet.
Gee, Luke, I don't know what to say. Maybe I don't quite get what you mean by a dog barking plaintively. Maybe faintly or angrily?
No, it has to start with a P. I want it to work alliteratively with play in the line before, and then with pantyhose pucker.
This would have been the ideal opportunity for me to ask, what the hell is the sound of a puckering pantyhose? But I don't. Instead I say, oh, well that's fine then.
I'll have to decide where to take the poem from here.
I should have said to the nearest trash can. Of course I wouldn't, because I am falling in love with him. Even though we have never exchanged words of affection, sometimes we hold hands when we walk down the hill, but it is much to keep the other from falling as it is a need to touch. And on the day of the plaintive dog poem, I decide that the next Saturday I will get up the nerve to ask him how he might feel about entering into a relationship.
Oh, that's excellent.
I'm not talking to you.
Who are you talking to?
My mom? Quinn? The cosmos?
I am part of the cosmos.
That Wednesday, I am approached by Annabelle Lee from accounting. It is shortly after Luke and I have returned laughing from lunch. Annabelle, in her smug way, asks me if I know that Luke is gay. Of course I am surprised, but I say, yes, of course I know he's gay. Annabelle seems to be taken aback, and I assure her that his sexual orientation in no way affects what good friends we are. Inside, I am screaming. I did not know that. I am disappointed. No, I am heartbroken.
I'm not gay.
And you're not Luke, you're the narrator.
Yes, right.
So to move things along, we were back on the hilltop the Saturday after Annabelle Lee dropped the bomb. At that moment, I decided to ask Luke, how many girlfriends have you had?
And I said, 17.
Stop it, narrator Luke, that's not what you said.
That's how I remember it.
You weren't there.
I wish I had been there.
Consult the script, please.
Oh no, wait. I said, Tessa, I never had a girlfriend. Aren't you aware? Don't you realize I'm gay?
Yes, I do. Annabelle Lee told me. I thought perhaps she was lying because she was jealous. No such luck, I guess.
That's why I like when you call me Walt Whitman. He was the first American gay poet, I think. I'm sorry.
That's all right. It doesn't make any difference.
This is awkward.
And it doesn't do any good that you were doing such an intentionally terrible job of reading the lines.
Tough beans.
Please.
Okay. Why don't you read me the poem you're working with?
Is that what it says in the script? All right. Looking for my mommy. I looked behind my toy chest. I looked underneath my bed. I looked underneath the pillow, then underneath the spread. I checked around the kitchen and checked the silver drawer, and checked the linen closet, though I'd checked in there before. So I peeked inside the sewing box, I peeked beneath the stair, then in the liquor cabinet, and I found my daddy there.
Holy shit, your father was an alcoholic?
Yes, he was.
Your mom was emotionally absent and your dad was a drunk? With all that shit you went through, it's amazing you are some kind of serial killer.
Very few serial killers are women.
Please be quiet.
I'm offended.
Please go back to being the impartial and objective narrator.
Then you're done with me.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I'm sorry I couldn't find you here.
I know you are, Mom. And it's all right.
How can it be all right when I spent most of your youth hiding from you? When I was sitting next to you, I was hiding from you. When I was making excuses for not going to your events.
I know, Mom. You wanted me to be the so rotten kid, not even her mother could love her. I tried to be that rotten kid, but it was so against my nature. It hurt. When I left for college, I was liberated. I could finally be the consistently likable person I always wanted to be. I didn't have to worry about you liking me by mistake.
Dude, this is tragically ironic.
Somehow, Mom, you and Dad gave me the strength to rise above my crappy youth. A lot of people couldn't have done that, so you must have done something, right?
The essence of a backhanded compliment. You are my favorite child.
No, I'm not. Chloe is, but I'll take second.
Now, Robert was your dad's special child.
Dad and son. Makes sense. I remember they were builders of stuff. They spent so much time in the garage making things, like birdhouses.
The two of them made an entire bird subdivision. Robert is drinking more than he should now. Rebecca told me one time when I called and he wasn't at home. I told her I wasn't surprised, and in fact, drink began to become problematic for his father in his early 40s too.
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. What an awful and stupid and ridiculous thing to say.
On my dad's side of the family, when it comes to drinkers, it would make more sense to say the watermelon doesn't fall far from the vine. Every big family gathering featured lots of booze and fights and crying and singing sad songs, loudly and poorly.
I used to say that Christmas with the Donahues was like an Irish wake without the dead body.
Mom really used to say that. And then my Aunt Maddie, who was very religious, would say, except for Jesus, which would bring the discussion to a halt. None of us wanting to go there.
I have to go.
Really, Mom? Aside from the early rancor, this has been nice.
Well, I have to go to the bathroom.
Of course. Thanks for the visit and the talk, Mom. Sorry about the poem.
The poem was fine, dear. It was a lesson for me.
Me too.
Love you, Mom.
I love you, dear. And the gay Jewish guy, I'm fine with him.
When I hung out here, I used to be behind the trees.
That's revealing.
At least you got a chance to sort and straighten thing out with your mom.
I know. Too bad she's been dead for 2 years.
Catherine is dead? But she was just with us.
I told you that you can't count on time in this memory play. Time can bounce about and take liberties. You need to be suspicious of it.
But how did she die?
In a plane crash on her way to see my brothers in Los Angeles.
Yeah, the plane fell right out of the sky. Ended her life in a smoking pile of twisted metal.
In Utah?
No, in New Jersey. They had just taken off.
This out of time stuff. I'm feeling rather Tarantino.
She should have taken the train.
Want to talk about your alcoholic father, Tessa?
Nope, no more about me. Maybe some other time.
Shoot.
I had a feeling there won't be another time just like this one.
And you are probably right.
So when we wake up tomorrow, we will be back to our ordinary, possibly sedentary lives?
How would I know? I'm not God. I'm just the frickin' narrator.
Hello! Hello up on the hill!
Hello, a little bit down the hill.
May I come up?
You certainly may. It's not like we own this hilltop. Walk behind the trees and come up the little stairs and you'll be here.
Thank you.
There's a man coming to join us.
Who is he?
I don't know. I can't seem to find him in the script.
I'm Larry Osborne. I'm an accountant. Here's my card, CPA.
You're not here to audit me.
Audit? You for what?
Quality of my work.
No, I don't audit work quality.
Great.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Larry. Come sit with us. Now, Larry, you know you're quite good looking.
Oh, thank you.
How old are you?
Let's just say I'm along in years.
Fair enough. Tessa, come over here.
Quinn, this is troubling me. I can't find Larry, and I believe this may be the beginning of the breakdown of the space-time continuum under which we are operating. I feel the earth trembling beneath my feet.
Okay, Tessa, you sit.
Okay.
Okay, Larry, my name is Quinn, and this is Tessa. He's the narrator. What brought you here?
Okay, when I woke up this morning, I needed a walk in nature, to sniff the air, look around, hear the sounds, a little brain break. You know, the idea sounded wonderful. So I drove around, came upon this audience, followed the trail up here. It was very well marked.
There might well be a sign saying trail to the hilltop.
Where memories bounce into each other, etc., etc.
And I'm so glad I came here. This is a wonderful place. The air is so fresh and the beautiful vista. I could look at this for hours.
Peep, peep, peep.
Peeping baby birds.
I thought you said Larry wasn't in the script.
Well, he is now.
By the way, ladies, you both have very nice names.
Oh, deja vu. He definitely belongs.
You look familiar to me, Larry.
I have that kind of face.
Okay, Larry, it's time for you to speak because, I can't believe it, you're in the script. So you two lean in closely like a couple of Girl Scouts who aren't going to earn their Beware of Strange Men merit badge.
Huh? Well, oh wait, I know what I'm supposed to say. It just came into my mind. Well, everyone, lean in and listen up. After my mom and dad had me, my mom didn't stick around for long. She wasn't into marriage or parenting or any kind of responsibility, I guess. My dad used to say, never marry a woman whose only evil relationship had been with a pole. And he didn't mean a person from Warsaw or a firefighter, but Dad and I were okay. Dad had a terrific job, so we had enough money, a nice house, a car, and he just couldn't seem to find the right woman to fall in love with. He met some ladies, brought some of them home, stayed all night even, but nothing of import came about it except for some squeaking springs in the bedroom. He'd tell me he decided in the middle of the night to rearrange his furniture. One time I said to him, so that's what you call it now? He looked at me kind of shocked, then laughed his head off. Dad and I had a good relationship.
Larry, get to the point. We may not have much more time.
Okay. Well, when Dad had a few beers, he would always tell me his sad story. The mistake of his life. And you know, it happened on a hilltop, just like this one. In fact, his dad lived around here when he was younger. So anyways, he tells me how he had this really great girl. So when he got this job out of town, he was young and stupid, didn't like the idea of settling down. So he brought her to a hilltop like this, told her he had a new job, and left her here with tears flowing down her cheeks. He said, the biggest mistake of my life, the biggest mistake.
Did your dad mention the name of the girl he left behind?
Oh, yes, of course. Catherine. Her name was Catherine.
Holy crap, the space-time continuum is still working.
The woman your dad left behind was my mother.
Really? Well, maybe I came here to meet you.
None of these maybes. We have to get done.
That's why you look familiar to me. Genetic memory.
I've never heard of
Me neither.
I think we should discuss this over dinner or lunch or breakfast or whatever time of day it is. I am ridiculously attracted to you.
Me too, do you? Let's go.
Okay.
it. Bye, guys. Have a great lunch and other stuff. And then there were two.
Yes. Larry's gone, the earth has stopped trembling beneath my feet. And the script tells me we have something left to do.
Conclusion, denouement.
A denouement, perhaps. What we are supposed to do before we say adieu is figure out just what these memories, etc., we're doing here today bring some reason to the strangeness.
Man without a name. Am I the main character of this theatrical?
Well, you were here first.
I think I'm the main character. The one whose life is all of those blank slates.
Tabula rasas. So why do you think memories were bouncing around this play?
Let's talk about Catherine. I think her memories taught me some things.
All right, what about Catherine?
She got the opportunity to deal with some of the things that had haunted her. She got a reunion with her daughter. She and her daughter had to reconcile after Catherine was dead. That's nuts, but nice.
Yes, it is. I thought we could use a psychologist in this theatrical, but there wasn't one in the budget.
Besides being my listener, Catherine was here for family. Her memories were family. And Tessa was here to show her mom what a terrific daughter she'd become. Though her job wasn't great. More family. And Catherine was wicked funny sometimes. Those sex quotes broke me up.
So, Catherine was symbolic of family, forgiveness, repentance, sex, with a heavy dose of dysfunction. What about you?
At the beginning, I was sort of innocent. And then I started questioning stuff like sex and religion. And I got to be a listener for Catherine to talk to. And I made people laugh. So I was the innocent questioner interested in God and lovemaking, who was also a listener and a source of comic relief. Wow, I guess I learned or realized a lot about myself. Not my current age, of course, or what I do for a living.
You know what you do for a living?
I do?
You're a third grade teacher.
I am not.
You said you were.
I lied. I do not teach third grade. I'm a rebel. I have a tattoo.
Of what?
Winnie the Pooh.
You're a rebel-ish. I made up the third grade teacher part. When you get back to the bottom of the hill where you work, where you live and such, will almost certainly come back to you, but you will be packed with some new knowledge too.
Thank goodness, I think. One more memory to recall. Tessa may well have found love. The first real romantic love ever for her. The memory play is about love.
Oh, I agree. The memory play has got love all over it. So I believe we are done. Curtain down, final exit, and all the other theatrical metaphors.
The fat lady sang, "How come you are suddenly so sweet and nice, Mr. Narrator, and apparently wise?"
Well, sometimes sweetness and niceness are available parts to me. You see, I look at my job as part friend, part leader, part questioner, part supporter, part trickster, part teacher, and part pain in the ass.
You are God, I knew it!
Quinn, I told you I'm not God, I'm just the frickin' narrator.
Semantics! Did we do it right, God?
What?
The memory play. Did we do it right? No shrugging. Did we do it right? Yes, we did! Whatever it is. Bye, everybody!
Quinn, do you need a ride home?
That would be great, although I'm not sure where I live or how old I am. Wait, God has a car?
I told you I'm not God. And don't worry about finding where you live, I have a GPS.
Holy crap, the heavenly GPS.
Oh, well, good night, audience. Thank you for your time and attention. May this theatrical bump around in your memories for a while. Goodbye.